Everybody, this is Edward back with another video. I am your host, Everybody Hates Black Men, Edward Anderson. And now we're getting into the video what it should have been when it comes to is Maria Taylor. Are black men jealous of Maria Taylor? I'm very interested in this. I know some of you all are going to be late to this because I have that premiere going, so I seem to be doing a lot. It is what it is. Give me y'all some good content. So I'm going to get this started. And shout out to Ticket TV. Definitely y'all should subscribe to his channel. I am using his content and piggybacking off of that. So, yeah. Original. And another thing is Black Gurus kind of speak on this as well. So I didn't want to act like I was ducking this. I really wanted to comment on it. So we're going to jump right into it. Yeah, I am doing it live during the premiere because I want to get this out the way. So let's go. I want to get this out of the way. I know y'all like, God damn, man. Yeah, y'all going to have to just deal with it. Y'all can always go back to that other video, but I want to get this out the way because this is actually premiering. That's why I'm doing it now.
We got called this shit like it is. There's nothing wrong. And I agree with you about Paul Pierce and Maria Taylor getting a big payday from this shit too. I totally agree with you.
And that's the problem. A lot of them dudes, they're emotionally invested in a payday. Some dudes are looking at this from a clinical standpoint. They're not looking at this from a I'm invested in if she get paid or not. They just not.
That discrimination.
Yeah, but but you got these dudes.
That's automatic right there when it comes to the label law.
Yeah, but you got these dudes, man, and these dudes, like a couple dudes that came in the chat room.
Press 1 if y'all can hear it.
Like they really got a problem with these women getting money in the business, and I don't understand why, as a man, you would have a problem with the woman getting paid.
Nobody has a problem with a woman getting paid. Number one, dudes in the chat shouldn't even count. But I've done videos on this. Shout out to Jada Black. It's not about dudes being mad that she's getting money. Dudes are basically making assessment of what her value is. And you all on the other stream that I've already done, I've ran the numbers. Like at the end of the day, it's just like when there's an article talking about not Paul Pierce. Chris, it was an article that was saying that Chris Paul has the worst contract in the NBA. But Phoenix is able, they are where they are. So when you look at the article talks about a couple of things. Chris Paul is essentially getting he has a $40 million contract. And then when you look at typically, I think that's more than what LeBron has over 4 years. And in the NBA, a lot of these motherfuckers get a lot of their money. That's a big deal. Actually, I need the link in the description. It's a video by a dude by the name of Carcino, and I'll share it where he spends an hour going over an NBA contract. It's very informative. But when you look at how much Chris Paul gets hurt, you look at, how much that takes away from a team on a salary cap. That's where that assessment comes from. Ain't nobody saying they mad Chris Paul gets the money. They're just making a judgment on what the contract is as far as how it affects the team and the bottom line and other players. Just like how eventually they're gonna have to pay Devin Booker. They got to pay a lot of them players. And they got there without Chris Paul. So they damn sure should be beating the Bucks with Chris Paul because they pretty much were able to make it in the playoffs without Chris Paul because he was under the protocols. So my point is, coming back, and people typically talk about that when people are up for their contract. They talk about these things. Kevin Love, Jalen Rose, you hear this. So when it comes to women, people get overly sensitive because, again, it's supposed to be equity and not equality. Nobody is really hating on Maria Taylor. What they are saying is when you look at the lay of the land of what ESPN is paying people, and then you look at ESPN is really giving more people pay cuts than pay raises. They are saying that if she was offered $5 million, quite frankly, she should have took that. If she did not take that because she thought she could get more, whoever told her that or advised her is a fucking moron. Now you got people again calling that into question. Fine, let's just only talk about the 3. The $3 million is probably in line with what she would be raised. Like that honestly, that's probably a little high if you look at her age, what she's done. But then you got, so really the 3 million probably has to do with a lot of the controversy that has happened. Because understand something. From what I looked at, Rachel Nichols is only getting $1.5 million. She would be getting paid more than Rachel Nichols. Now I want to re-look at that. But I've seen many sources say that. So maybe she's getting money in other places that I'm not paying attention to. But yeah, but this is an article 5 days ago saying she's getting 1.5 million. Yeah, so Rachel Nichols is she would pass, and I'm not saying she shouldn't, but we're giving an assessment as to what she's getting. Now, I guess the expectation is that black men are supposed to just say, let her get all her money that she wants, and just push that and just say, fuck it, let's just cheerlead. But you know, a lot of people are free thinkers. And I think a lot of folks don't have an answer for that, so they just calling it hate. Because when you can't call it nothing else, that's what you're gonna call it, right? But let's go.
And then a young black woman at that. You know what I'm saying? Like damn, it's hard for us as is. And she getting it the worst in that type of industry.
You see what I'm saying? It's getting it the worst. Boo-hoo, woe is me. Black women have an advantage in corporate America over black men in a variety of fields. And if you look at all the black men in those fields compared to black women, can you honestly say, when you look at what black men are actually bringing to those positions as far as credibility, you got a lot of players. Like, can you honestly say that? Like, technically, if you think about it. Maria Taylor was making $1 million a year. That is what she's currently making on her contract. Rachel Nichols is 47 years old and she makes 1.5. Are you really telling me that so 34, so she's 13 years older? Are you really telling me that Maria Taylor is bringing that much more to the table in ratings and all of that? Maria Taylor is on par right now with some people that have shows right now. And she's definitely doing better than a lot of Jemele Hill in them. She's doing better in many ways than Carrie Champion in them. Now, or at least right there. She would have passed them. I mean, like, seriously though.
It's already not deep when it comes to a woman itself. And then on top of that, she black. So she getting it for all angles.
Oh, BGS, you'll be a misogynist. BGS say he don't like black women on ESPN.
This shit, so it's even harder for her to excel in that type of industry. Dealing with trying to be a sports reporter. And I like to say that she did yesterday with all the...
I mean, how? Like, explain to me how it's harder. Explain to me how it is harder for a black woman than a black man. Explain that. For example, it's harder for black men to get on social media, like to really pop on social media or men than women. How? Women are on social media more. In the black community, black women are on social media more than any other demographic. So you have a lot of niches and stuff you can pull from women. They have numbers, just like how white people have the numbers, which is why a lot of these women are complaining about TikTok. I just explained it. Now explain to me, why is it so much harder? Again, I did my last stream. I talked about how the median income for like WNBA players, much more labor intensive than being on ESPN, is like 75,000. The top women are getting like 200. They're not even getting $1 million like that. So how is it hard? Is it hard because we're just going to say shit is harder on women in corporate America in general? Are you really going to tell me in media it's harder? It's just harder? Y'all are just saying that. And y'all not really, there's nothing behind that. That's what I'm saying. There's nothing behind that. Now, we can't say they're affirmative action hires on BGS. Now we hate black women.
For black women that they got on the sidelines, basically. I like when you reported on that, because they are hiring those women. They're not showcasing their skills and their talent over them. They're just keeping them on the sideline. Not letting them get their opportunity to shine or whatever. You know, it's just sad, man.
See all this emotional, not letting them get their opportunity to shine. You don't see most people in ESPN. What are you talking about? I get the Malika situation, but you don't see most of these fools in ESPN. Like, yo, what do y'all expect? See, this shout out to BGS. This is that equity versus equality. Rachel Nichols wasn't getting that kind of shine either. Rachel Nichols had to grind her shit. Like, she had to build the relationship. That's why she's so humped in with LeBron. She had to grind those relationships from the dust. Maria Taylor ain't had to do all of that.
Like they lowballing. So ESPN basically let one know that.
How are they lowballing her by offering her $3 million? Mike Wilbon and the other guy, Tony something, I forget his name on Pardon the Eruption. They make 6. Stephen A makes 8. Those are the top guys. Skip Bayless makes like the same as Stephen A. Shannon Sharp makes like 4. How are they lowballing her? I'm not saying they ain't lowballed other people, but how are they lowballing her by giving her a $2 million raise? Well, she's not getting what she's worth. You all have never demonstrated what she's worth. You all have never given a number of what she's worth. And then we talk about the NBC Sports deal. Nobody knows what that is. Amazon, nobody knows what that is. They're probably seeing what's going to happen with this to make an assessment. Because if that deal was significantly better, why would she stay here? Maybe she's staying here just to stay in the finals. Maybe, maybe not. But if look, I'm not saying ESPN is the greatest place in the world for black people. But if ESPN was that bad of a work environment, then she wouldn't be trying to get more out of them. Clearly, it seems like ESPN is going to be the best candidate to give her the best of what she wants. Or she probably likes the infrastructure that ESPN has as compared to the other stuff.
We don't give a fuck about you, man. We gonna call your bluff on all this shit. You ain't got none on none of us. We taking Rachel Nichols' side. That's how I look at it. Like, they all in with Rachel Nichols. They gonna stand down for her. They gonna take up for her. So my thing is, Ticket Man. My thing is, bro.
It's not that, yeah, a part of that is because she's white, but a big part of that, from what I hear, and Jamel Hill from what I've researched, and Jamel Hill is actually kind of indicated this too. Rachel Nichols has the relationships, and Rachel Nichols, it's not even so much the corporation as much as Rachel Nichols is able to call these favors for a lot of these black men. And she got LeBron too. So Rachel Nichols got the shit covered. This is like Game of Thrones, and she done built this shit for this situation. And quite frankly, Maria Taylor is running into kind of a buzzsaw. And Rachel Nichols last year, when she saw that the shit was going down, because that video was taken almost a year ago, Rachel Nichols, you know, when you put a white woman under threat, a white woman will get to work. That's one thing about white women. If a white woman's position is threatened, oh, they will make sure to play Game of Thrones on your ass. Remember what I've always said. Nobody has taken more from a white woman and a black woman and a white woman. Nobody's taking more from a black woman and a white woman. Nobody kisses the ass of a white woman more than a black woman. So what I find interesting about this kind of situation is this is one of the few times you really get to see like a black woman really competing for a white woman with something, even though this is really just has to do more with her contract, but it's the clout behind it. And also, remember what I've always told you. You find out how these motherfuckers really feel about you when you come for something they covet. I've always said that. I've said that with white men. I've said that with black people in general, regardless of gender. So what you're seeing is Rachel Nichols, she had to build. I'm not even caping for her because I don't like a lot of slick shit she does. But from a chess standpoint, this is us going over the tape. This is business negotiation. And what a lot of black men are doing, and this is kind of demonstrated, is this is a lot of emotionalism and subjectivity in this shit. And see, this is why we don't really do well in politics like that. Because we think we're right, we should win. And what it comes down to is motherfuckers are just begging ESPN. Remember what I said. Black men don't understand real kinetic power. We understand. We try to use influence. And when influence don't work, well, you get what you got here.
Everybody needs to stand up to this shit. And I'm going to tell you who I'm going to call that about. I'm going to tell you who need to go and nip this shit in the bud. I feel like if you was to speak out on this shit, I feel like some real, yeah.
Stephen A. Smith ain't gonna speak out on shit. Why? Really think about what you just said. Why Stephen A. What the fuck is he gonna say? Pay the bitch. And I like Maria. I'm not trying to call her a B, but I'm what the last time. What is Stephen A. gonna say? What is Stephen A. gonna say? Like, let's keep it all the way real. Kerry Champion gave him a hard time. Michelle Beadle almost derailed him. Stephen A. Smith don't give a fuck about these hoes like that, no matter who the fuck they are. And I'm gonna tell you, if she was offered $5 million, if she asked Stephen would have said, "Take the damn money." Stephen would have told her, "Take the damn money," because they may not offer you that again. That's what Stephen would have said. But now and look, I don't even like Stephen A. Smith like that. But you know what, BGS? I don't know what BGS. Look, I'm only offering this link to BGS, because I would love to get your opinion on this. So anybody else come up, you're not getting brought up. So BGS, because I would love to hear BGS's opinion on this, because this isn't so much sports as it's business, and I would love to hear this from a dude that's got 2 black daughters and all of that. So it can't be like a nigga hating, because I know you when you go to sports shit, you don't go fuck, especially when you did the video on equity. So that video that is only for BGS. So if he don't come up, he don't come up. Any of y'all come up, y'all not getting pulled up. I'm just saying. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
That snitch got to.
And then they call him Stephen A. Snitch while they ask him for help. I mean, I don't like Stephen A. Smith either, but damn.
And I still gonna call him a snitch, but if he do that shit, I feel like, all right, yeah, all right.
Nah, he ain't all right with me. He did too much damage to make a comeback off one thing. He did too much damage. But explain to me how much he talked. He talked like he cared about this type of shit, about black opportunities. But
this is actually on. What's up, BGS? This is actually an ongoing premiere right now. I just wanted to. Yeah. No,
the thing is that it's funny that Rachel Nichols calls Maria Taylor an affirmative action hire when she's as much of an affirmative action hire.
You're kind of borging out on me.
Am I really? Okay.
I know you were saying a diversity hire, but I didn't hear it because I know you said
that. Yeah. Basically, they both are. They're both affirmative action hires because when ESPN started including women anchors, actually the ratings actually went down. Most guys don't like female anchors. They're getting used to them because they've been forced on them. But she's as much of an affirmative action hire as the black woman. I don't know why they go ahead.
Well, Rachel Nichols, like that's why Rachel Nichols talk about she big on diversity. But the thing about it is, diversity doesn't mean necessarily black. Diversity can mean women.
That's what they mean. In fact, and this is for JR. I have a video called "Is a Sisterhood Consensual?" In other words, there was actually a piece written by what's his name, the white boy. You read it? No. He's actually a white. What does he call it? He's actually pro-black, but he's white. Tim Wise.
Yeah.
Tim Wise actually wrote a piece in a feminist magazine called "The Sisterhood is Consensual," because what white women actually did, man, is put themselves in affirmative action, right? And then right after they start getting their spots, they want to roll up the ladder. They want to roll up the fence. So Rachel Nichols, so once they get their little spot, their little affirmative action spot, then what they want to do is poo-poo everybody else that's black coming up. Okay, yeah. Well, you got it because you're in affirmative action. No, heifer, you got your position because of affirmative action. Because nobody really asked for female anchors or female sideline reporters for sports. They did that because of affirmative action, just like in WNBA basketball.
Yeah. Oh man, I didn't realize how little money they got paid.
They don't make any money. They lose money. The only reason.
I get that, but I didn't know they was making like the average of them was like $75,000.
Yeah, they actually pull less fans than the what they call it, the G League, but they get paid more. The only reason they get paid more. I
didn't know that.
Yeah, they actually get paid more than the people than the G League pros.
Yeah, so I didn't like the top ones getting 210,000. I didn't know that at all. So what I'm thinking about is, so when you go, Black Huru, I'm gonna make an exception. This is where you having nothing but daughters help. So I'm making an exception because you also asked for me to comment on this too. So since he re-uploaded it, I wanted to do it in real time. So yeah, I made an exception, but it's my channel. I can do that. So I'm glad I got you up here too. But I said that because when you look at what a lot of these analysts are getting paid, because I wanted to say, okay, nobody's talking about comparing how much she makes to like what generally these people make and on ESPN or these other networks at their level. So what I'm seeing is ESPN is in a climate where they're actually cutting people's pay. And when I say cutting people's pay, I'm talking about white men too. Unless you're like a marquee person, they're renegotiating contracts. They're cutting some people's pay as much as 61%. They're cutting women's pay. So in that climate, as her contract comes up, now people are saying she might not have really been offered $5 million. Well, if that's true, I don't know why she'd let that be out there.
I think the word she was offered three.
Somebody said they offer her 5. She said no, but we're gonna go with the 3 because that's consistently what they've been offering her. Then it's $3 million. So it must be other things like you to get a show and stuff. Go ahead.
JR. Look, man, I first went to college at 18 in 1977 with the Bakke decision when they were switching all this shit over. Man, don't come at me about this stuff, man. I live this stuff. Get out of here.
Yeah. Like, because honestly, JR, right now, all you doing is you kind of like fumbling up what we talking about. Like, cause this is really more of a business thing. Yeah. And that's my problem. The problem is a lot of these guys are looking at this from a more pro-black standpoint. But at the end of the day, you take the black people off the table. When you look at like Sarah Spain, you look at people that's been there longer. Some of them have shows. Some of them doing a lot of work. It's like she's making more than them now. Mm-hmm. And the $3 million will put her right there. So you got Mike Wilbon, you got Pardon the Interruption, you got Stephen A at the top with 8. Skip Bayless makes pretty much the same over there in Fox.
How can she ask for the same money that Stephen A gets?
Well, the word on the street is that they put that out there to make her look bad. Fine. Let's talk about the $3 million then. She's still doing a lot when you look at her age and what she's done.
Yeah. I mean, is she an athlete of any kind?
She looks like she was a former athlete. I think she was.
I think she was a basketball player and a volleyball player.
In college?
Yeah, I think, well, I don't know if she played in the WNBA, but I think she played volleyball and basketball at Georgia, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, you got tons of WNBA players that are pros and stuff like that could come in and take her spot. What you know?
Well, here's my thing: if you pay her $8 million, right, they will be firing other people to make up for that $8 million because they're losing the audience. ESPN has been losing audience share for the better part of a decade. So if they pay her $8 million, best believe there will be some black people who will lose their jobs.
Yeah. And that's never entered into the conversation. I didn't even think about that. Like that's actually a really, really valid point. This is what I want from both of y'all, at least before I play this again. The idea in this,
and Disney is pro-woman. I don't even know where they get that from. Disney is very pro-woman.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And ESPN works for them.
Yeah, they offered it $3 million. I'm actually looking at it right now.
Yeah, see what they're saying, and is they currently offer her $3 million, but like it's articles that saying the first offer she got was 5, and she turned that down. She has never refuted that. So I guess my question is, in your experience, BGS, if let's say she was offered 5 and that wasn't true, because that's not like small networks.
In ESPN, it's possible, but I don't think they offered her 5.
Okay.
If they offered her 5, that basically shut her up. So she didn't take it.
Yeah, because this tape was always out there. So I didn't understand because Jada Black first said that, and then he gave the article where he got that from, and now people are trying to say that's what it was never offered at, but ain't nobody from her saying that. So if we look at, so I'll say this: what I want from both of you all as folks that have daughters is, are black men hating on her for getting this money, or are they just analyzing it and kind of doing it from okay, this is what they all get. Why would she get that? Like, what is she bringing to it?
That's what they're asking. I think this is just black sports fans, period. You know, sports fans, period. No matter what color you are. If she had actually done something, or she had her own show, or she was really, really, really popular, that like Stephen A. You see him all over the place. You've seen Stephen A. all over the place for years on radio, on TV, all over the place. So he's worth his $8 million. Okay, what has she done?
Right. Oh, well, that's the thing, man. You know, when white men give you money like that, they're gonna work you like a slave.
Oh yeah, it's hard to even imagine ESPN without Stephen A. Smith now.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't even really visualize what ESPN would be without him. Yeah. You can't say the same thing about Maria Taylor.
I mean, especially when Skip Bayless left. And to be honest with you, technically Stephen A. is more known a little bit than Skip. Well, when I say known, like he's more out there, like brand wise. But once Skip Bayless got that kind of money, I think that's what they kind of justified it with in their minds as far as why they gave Stephen that, because they both came from the same show and they both got, it's like a competitive thing at this point a little bit now, because Shannon Sharpe gets 4. And his contract is up in July.
When you look at how ESPN works, specifically with Stephen A. Smith, you know, look, at some point we have to acknowledge the specific equity of being a black man. And when you see Stephen A. Smith interaction with athletes, with former athletes, with Michael Irving, for example, with Deion Sanders, you know, there's a specific kind of exchange that occurs between black men that cannot be replicated by white men, by black women, nobody else. And Stephen A. Smith is particularly skilled at that. I mean, when you see, for example, his exchanges with Michael Irving, with the Dallas Cowboys, his hatred of the Dallas Cowboys, that drives ratings for that station. Maria Taylor cannot duplicate that. She cannot replicate that. You know, there's a certain kind of energy that black men, particularly black men of a certain age, of a certain background, of a certain experience, bring to sports that that nobody else can bring. Nobody else can bring.
And I'm glad you all are saying that, because both, I mean, y'all come from a different generation. See, I always know these females being in this motherfucker. So that's what I know. And Ticket is like the same age as me. So y'all coming from a different situation. So it's hard. People can't be saying, oh, but motherfuckers are just hating. We hating on her getting paid. Honestly, people don't really care about her getting paid. If she gets it, people are not going to be like, that's bullshit. It's going to be like, it is what it is. But if you're going to look at it, people are having a conversation from a negotiation standpoint. So people are saying, if she was really offered 5, then you a fucking fool for not taking that, because you was about highway robbery. You was about to be able to commit. If you were offered 3, that's more than what all these other folks are getting offered. And then the other thing I want to add in here before I play it is her other offers are from Amazon, which is unknown, which is not as built out as ESPN on that front, right? And because they only got that on Prime. That ain't really nothing where you gonna really be seen like that. You know what I'm saying? ESPN can offer you a show that can build out your audience. Amazon can't really offer that yet. Not on the sports world. And then you got NBC Sports.
I think there is a potential with Amazon and with Prime to become a major competitor with ESPN. When you consider just the raw assets that Amazon has, if they were to actually decide to become a major competitor of ESPN, they could do that. And if they were going to go the woke route, then maybe they would be willing to risk a major deal with Maria Taylor and kind of use her as the basis for kind of going this black girl magic.
Well, Amazon definitely got the money, but I think part of why that, and I hate to keep bringing up the $5 million, but part of that is part of the reason why that matters is because if you're going to try to think you're going to get higher than that, then you have to establish that that's what you were offered as a baseline. Because these other companies they're not going to give you like 7 or 8 or 6 or 7 when only thing you were going to be given is 3. Like they give you more, but it won't be. Even if they got the money, they generally haven't demonstrated that they would do that. Because again, why her versus anybody else? The only other situation is that woke thing with the George Floyd situation.
I think, Edward, and you kind of pushed back on this earlier today, I think Maria was trying to use what happened with Rachel Nichols as a negotiation lever. I mean, because her deal is coming up towards the end of the NBA Finals.
Right.
This thing all of a sudden
this
comes
is
up.
literally like 10 days left max. If
This
that.
thing all of a sudden comes up during the NBA Finals. I mean, this thing with Rachel Nichols happened last year.
Yeah.
So now it's coming up now.
Yeah.
I think she used what happened with Rachel Nichols as a means to try to up her salary, to try to negotiate for the $8 million.
But
I think had that incident not occurred with Rachel Nichols, no way I think she backs up off $5 million. No way. In fact, I think if that incident had not occurred with Rachel Nichols, I don't even think they would have offered her $5 million to begin with. I think they offered her $5 million because of what happened with Rachel Nichols. Because Rachel Nichols herself only makes $1.5 million.
Yeah.
Yep, and once and when Jada Black first covered it, I was like, that doesn't make sense, and I was agreeing with him, but the tape didn't come out yet. So apparently New York Times released the tape, but before that, the tape got to Maria, or I don't know, but the tape got to Maria from another black woman, and that
the
black
tape
woman
got to Maria last year.
Yeah.
The girl,
and the black
the
woman
girl who recorded the tape or it was a friend, it was a black girl, was a friend of Maria. She had that. She smartly held it for long enough for her to use it for negotiation purposes.
And she tried to blackmail him.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like
she did a smart thing.
Yeah, well, she overplayed her hand though. So now,
when she wanted Stephen A. Smith money, that was a bridge too far.
Everybody, hold on, I want to make this clear. People are starting to say that I want to at least give that context. People are putting that out there in order to throw her name under. So they want to make it. People want to the pro people on this are trying to say that not that never happened. What you saying at all, but I
don't think they ever offered her $5 million. I think they offered her $3 million. What was she making before?
She's making one now.
Well, they offered her the $3 million, man. To give her to shut up. We give you $2 on top of that to shut the fuck up. Yeah. You didn't take that. Just either take this or bounce.
Yeah, so, and Damon Glass is saying the other black girl got fired, and I mean they would because.
In fact, they'd fire both of them because
they suspended her. They suspended her, and then she supposedly left after her suspension or something.
Who, Rachel Nichols or who?
Oh no, the black female,
the black woman who recorded or got the.
In fact, they offered her so much money to clean house. Once it was released, you can't blackmail her no more. Basically, now they're gonna let her go to clean house. So Rachel Nichols is probably gonna go too.
No, it looks like it looks like Rachel is trying.
I don't think they can save Rachel.
I don't think they can save her either.
I think she's smeared too much and the credibility, because she's also smeared the credibility of the men associated with her.
Yeah.
So I think they got to get rid of her.
Well, I hope she goes because
then they released that she smashed what's his name during the bubble. Okay, they just all this stuff is coming out
for Miami.
Yeah.
What's his name, brother?
Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. So now they released all this behind the scenes.
That's like the worst kept secret. That's like the worst kept.
And here's my opinion. I hope, because the thing about it is, I think Maria Taylor will land somewhere. I think at the very least she's gonna get $3 million somewhere else. And so
I don't think she'll get $3 million someplace else because she's already ran off her mouth. She can't be trusted.
Oh, them niggas.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Like I said, unless somebody's going to go the black girl magic woke route, which is possible. I mean, we got a black woman who's vice president. And
you ain't going to get the dude. This is
maybe somebody think that, the way of the future is black woman, Goldman Sachs, all that type of shit. So they may make that particular decision.
Basically, what's her name that played for the LA team. She's actually a better broadcaster.
Lisa Leslie?
No, not Lisa Leslie, the light-skinned girl.
No, you talking? Oh, she appears on the TNT show. She's very good.
And she's very good.
And she's from Chicago.
Is she from Chicago?
Candace
Owens.
Candace Parker.
Candace Parker. She's good. She's played in the WNBA. She knows all the NBA players. She's charismatic. She's much prettier. Okay, give them the little light skin advantage to the girl. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see them going with Candace.
She could easily slip. They could easily offer Candace Parker the $3 million, slip her right in, and she'd actually be a better fit.
And that's so.
Go 1, 2, 3.
So let me play this a little bit more just to see what these Negroes are saying. I'm gonna play it at 1.5 playback speed. That way we can get it going. But let's see.
Then you got a situation going on ESPN, and he quiet. And like I said, what is it about these insecure ass Negroes that got a problem with a black woman getting a high position or getting paid handsomely? I don't understand that.
And then what pissed me out about Richard Jefferson and Perk, y'all had NBA careers, man. So I know y'all not banking on this shit to take care of you every day. I know y'all shouldn't be banking on this shit. So at the end of the day, why y'all didn't stand up? Y'all got nothing to lose. Y'all can fuck around and get another job at another network.
Why the fuck is it their responsibility to fall on the sword?
For her, yeah.
Like, are you fucking serious?
It ain't about the money. They want to stay on the stage. That it's not about the money. Those guys got plenty of money. They want to stay on the stage,
and they can be ejected from the stage too.
Yeah,
actually, yeah.
And plus, they get all kind. If they're in the spotlight, they get all kind of perks and promotions and deals.
Exactly. When you heard of Paul Pierce since what happened with that video, and Paul Pierce said he was good. You ain't heard.
Well, he made his money on Bitcoin.
So. Oh yeah, Paul Pierce is real good.
Oh well, he good, but I'm talking about from a seeing him standpoint. I mean, he don't care, but that's an example.
For ESPN. So why not stand up for it instead? Y'all trying to say, Richard Nichols trying to say she got a good career. They all supposed to call her ass, had a dog ass, and I could not have been on this shit. I would have got this shit right there and there, and let her know about herself. And everybody could have been in that feelings, but I would have got that shit off the chest, would have been eating.
Nigga, you ain't famous. Shut up.
Yeah.
Kwame Brown got his limits. You know, he got his limits, even though he raw. So yeah.
Kwame Brown making all his money on YouTube. If Maria Taylor want to come and make her money on YouTube, I had no problem with that. That's probably the best place for her.
Jefferson and Kendrick Perkins would have stood up and smoked that real shit, but that was on set with him. That could have changed the game too. But Perk, he told him with a woman approached him about it. I guess it's everybody wants to determine everybody else's pockets.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in Kendrick Perkins, he was never a great player. He's actually
he got that one contract with Oklahoma.
He's actually more of a sports personality than he was an actual basketball player. So he's not going to let go of that. You know,
Kendrick won the championship. Just remember Rondo and it was all in them. They taught the big four, you know, and he was the center.
But I will say this, BGS,
Oklahoma,
if Kendrick Perkins had not got hurt in 2010, they would beat the Lakers.
No.
I'm going to say that.
All right.
I'm telling you.
You can say it all you want. You can say it all you want. You can say it all you want. Now,
they would have won in 2010. When you look at how close that series was.
Because I want this to be forever. Y'all can do a shadow point on that.
Hey, the games that they lost is
look at those games. Look at what happened before and after Kendrick Perkins got hurt.
The games
look at what happened before and
hold on, hold on for a second. The games that the Lakers really lost during that series are the games that Andrew Bynum did not play. Kendrick Perkins cannot handle Andrew Bynum. He could never handle Andrew Bynum.
But Kendrick Perkins got hurt in game 5 at the end of game 5.
It wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered.
Had he played
it wouldn't have mattered.
6 and 7, they would have won that series in 2010.
How about the first 2 games?
I'm telling you.
What do you do the first 2 games?
Yeah, I understand that. I got to get this going.
If Andrew Bynum had a healthy knee, they would have got swept.
Swept? Oh, come on now, bro.
Yes, yeah.
Come on now. Come on now.
Swept, sir. Like, yeah.
Swept.
So.
No.
All right, let's move it on.
Go ahead, Ed. We'll finish that.
Just room, sir.
y'all could relitigate that with Artie Igmore. He's coming up.
Yeah, you could go to Artie Igmore and relitigate that. Yeah.
Right.
Swept, sir. Anyway.
Hold on 1 second.
Tell you why it's a mistake. Why these brothers should be speaking up for these sisters. Because that helps y'all too. That helps y'all get paid more too. When y'all help her get paid, that helps y'all, you big dummy.
No, it don't. No, it don't.
Yeah, because show me anywhere where that's true. Like in what the fuck? Yeah. That's true in reverse.
That's that Negro That's that Negro rising tide,
Yeah.
lift all boats
Yeah.
bullshit.
What has black women in power in politics done for the black men
Man, I
coming
can't
up?
believe
Nothing.
it. Oh
Nothing.
my
Nothing.
God.
In fact, if anything, it has done the exact opposite.
It has.
Yeah. I mean, you're hard pressed to think about any ascent of black women that has directly contributed to the benefit of black men.
Nothing.
I'm hard pressed to think of any.
It's always been the reverse.
Right.
All right. So yeah. Oh, that's funny.
They hold her back. You might be thinking, oh well, she don't get that much money. Maybe they can give more than me. No, that makes them think that they can do you the same way. Because now, since nobody was standing tall with this one,
Yeah, because they've been holding black women back, but Stephen A. Smith got what he got, and Shannon Sharp is getting what he's getting. Come on,
on some real shit.
Mike Wilbon too.
Look at the inside in the NBA with NBA.
Right.
Yeah, because they get like $5 million.
But pardon the interruption.
Yeah.
Has been on the air for 20 years.
Yeah.
It's one of the best programs on ESPN.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also we're not even gonna look at like Jamel Hill, Sage Steele. We're not gonna look at Carrie Champion as if the record is that black people united. Black women will throw black men under the bus in a heartbeat.
Where has there, especially in sports on ESPN or any other network, has there ever been a woman that could actually hold her own show? The closest one you could actually think of was Carrie Champion. The closest one. She's the closest. Everybody else is nothing. I have to give Carrie Champion
but
credit.
even her, once you get over wanting to fuck her, you know, I mean, come on.
It don't matter why. It doesn't matter why she got what she got, right? The thing is that she's the only one that could even hold her own segment. Every other chick has been a co-host or sideline. Half the time they don't even talk.
Well, they making that argument. See, they making an argument because they holding them back, not because they don't have the ability. That's the funny thing here. Let's keep going.
Who did was Jalen Rose. He went on national TV and he told him right there when he was with her, pay this woman her money she wants. Pay this woman. I respect Jalen Rose for that shit because he did that shit on national TV way back when we didn't know what was going on. He was saying that shit on national TV like, yo, pay Maria Taylor her money. The contract's almost up. Pay that girl her money. You know what I'm saying? He was saying that shit. And so I just think that it's just sad that you got these insecure Negroes that come around. They're saying that, oh, she ain't hit no jump shot. She ain't hit no game winner. She just a reporter. And then another dude coming here talking about, oh, well, she just, $3 million. She all right. What she need? She all right. She cool. That's good money. Nigga, how you know that's good money? You don't know what they got her doing over there behind the scenes. So maybe
I know she ain't working as hard as Stephen A. Smith.
Unless she got knee pads, she's down there in the bubble doing extra work.
Yeah, and number one, but here's the thing: ain't nobody like the point is not.
At least Rachel Nichols down there doing some extra.
Yeah, I mean, at least Rachel earned the money.
She getting scoops.
Yeah, she keeping these motherfuckers in the bubble.
Because Jimmy Butler seemed like the type of brother that's gonna make you earn your money.
Oh yeah, he good for pillow talk.
Yeah, because Jimmy Butler already said that he got a crush on Taylor Swift, so he already. Well,
Jimmy Butler had banged Carl Anthony Towns' fiance up there in Minneapolis. That's why they had to get him up out of there.
Yeah.
So Jimmy Butler is running ragged.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler.
Didn't Jimmy Butler do the same thing when he's with the no, he wasn't with the Pacers. But Jimmy Butler,
and I think that was somewhere he tried to make a run at Gabrielle Union.
Oh yeah. They say he's notorious for that.
If Dirty Mackin was a person in the NBA, but shout out to the $10 super chat. If Maria, Dejan Watson and Maria want to make Stephen F. Smith, she got to work on ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN3, ESPN News, ESPNU, ESPN Radio, ESPN Deportes. Saying muchas gracias, muy bien, because he is on. Yeah, man.
Did you see that? Did you see that video with Charles Barkley, where he's making fun of how hard Stephen A. Smith has to work on ESPN?
Yeah.
And here's another thing too. What them niggas ain't gonna make ESPN do shit. What them niggas gonna do? Like, this is what they really asking. What they really asking is, you only have so much kind of political capital on that. You asking for everybody to empty their political capital so one black woman can get quote unquote paid.
Extra money. Yeah.
Right.
Like what
Right.
are you talking? And then when you actually compare the numbers as to what she's getting at her age compared to everybody else, because then you got to justify what she's bringing. The only thing motherfuckers can say is she said the right thing during George Floyd. Well, a lot of people was watching TV at that point anyway, but that's not necessarily going to be replicated. And if ESPN is not going to always go political, yeah, she can be there in case that's what they want to do. But at the end of the day, outside of that, what are you really saying? So all of this is emotionalism, and then you making it like you are literally blaming black men for what ESPN ain't doing, and he don't even
But
understand
this
that.
is, Edward, this is very typical. Black men build, sacrifice, whatever, and then black women just come in after the fact and step right on top of it. And,
right. They don't have Gucci boots. What kind of boots do they black women have?
Yeah. Do you not understand that a reason why these women even got jobs is because a lot of these dudes are there.
Yeah.
Like, because it balances it out. Like, you don't even understand, like, because you don't even understand that. It's like, come on, man. Let's go.
Maybe she is adding her shit up with what the qualifications of what she's seeing other people's getting done. Because like I said, you got Stephen A. Smith and these niggas reporting on basketball. That nigga ain't never played no pro basketball, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? This woman got a resume of playing basketball and playing volleyball. And
that don't mean jack shit.
No.
She know college football too. So what woman?
Just like how Skip Bayless was a journalist. This is
so was Stephen A. Smith. He's with the Philadelphia Inquirer before he got to be on TV and radio.
So and another thing too,
but that's not what was relevant. Is Stephen A. Smith, like him or not, he's very entertaining.
Yes.
He's very engaging. Maria could come and go. You wouldn't even notice that she left. If Stephen A. Smith left ESPN, you would definitely know that.
Well, that and also, and here's the thing, because I actually like Maria personally, probably more than Stephen A. But taking that out of it, you're right. Negroes will get upset and they'll get over it like they always do. With Stephen A., I'm not saying Negroes might actually cheer that, but the problem is ESPN doesn't have a credible replacement. And I'm gonna keep it real. ESPN wouldn't be 100% comfortable pulling the trigger on Stephen A. For Skip Bayless, because at the end of the day, Skip Bayless is on the older side. That's probably why he left.
Stephen A. could if he had the cojones, he could leave ESPN and start another channel, another station.
Yeah, he could. But also the thing is, regardless, and a lot of y'all, both of you all gave good reasons as to why that was that I didn't even consider as far as the interviews. Because even though motherfuckers don't like Stephen A., it's still a black man with another black man. He knows how to get those interviews out.
Have you ever seen his interactions with Michael Irvin?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's riveting television.
Well, it's kind of
you can't look if you're not a black man,
like the pre-game,
particularly of a certain age. You can't do that. Maria Taylor cannot do that. A white guy cannot do that. You know, Stephen A., like him or not, he's a very engaging personality.
And that's another thing too. Older men are going to be the main ones really watching ES, because the younger demographic is more doing the app thing, the YouTube thing. So I didn't consider that either.
I mean, exactly. Can you really replace a Stephen A. Smith?
No.
Okay, but you can replace a Maria Taylor with a younger, better person. I gave you.
Wouldn't even. You know who you could replace her with? You could replace her with Taylor Rooks. Have y'all seen
even Malika Andrews, but y'all just said it with Candace Parker. And if you look at all
that Taylor Rooks is a stomp down killer.
Yeah. Was it Candace Parker? Candace Parker is actually the natural replacement for her.
Now, you could easily replace her with Candace Parker.
Yes. And so I'm not saying this to be an a-hole. I'm saying this is a business thing. Yeah, I'm looking at Taylor. Look, yeah, you right. If
that
you
Taylor Rooks is a killer, bro.
How much is she getting paid? Like these niggas would please especially if they know she white.
Well, and the thing is, like I say, you pay her $8 million, you will definitely have to let some other folks go.
So
and
Taylor
some of those folks will be
old.
And some of those folks will be black folks. If you pay that one person $8 million.
Let's see what her salary. Did she work for ESPN? They like to say people's net worth, but they don't say their salary.
They should, when they put the net worth up, the salary should be the profit salary should be there.
Yeah, she gets $100,000.
See, I mean, so look,
her net worth is only $1 million.
And so the thing is, the people that Maria Taylor actually hosts with, what do they make?
I forget who she hosts with.
Well, I know she has been hosting with like Jalen Rose, and some of the other NBA guys during the finals.
Yeah.
Some of them, I think Jalen makes more.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, you know,
but I mean, Jalen gets like, I think Jalen gets
like
he gets $3 million.
Yeah. So how is she worth more than him?
Right.
Under the guise of they play basketball.
Can do college football and pro basketball.
Nobody can name one. Can't name one. Nobody can name one.
Hold on.
So what woman you know can do college football and pro basketball?
Nobody can name one. Can't name one.
So that's the truth.
Name one at all, man.
Okay, that gets you to $3. At best, that gets you to $3 million.
But you're a sideline reporter.
Yeah, like you're not just like, it gets you what they're offering.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Maria Taylor, man, look, if they go low ball, man, go to TNT or something, man. Fuck them folks.
Can't go to TNT.
You talking about they gonna low ball you? What do you talk? And see, this is what really pisses me off about this is I would kill them with one question: how much of these? Let's talk about what these other people are making, and then let's make the argument. They're not gonna want to have that conversation because I noticed they haven't been talking about that.
And then go to TNT or something, especially if you love this shit. Don't settle for no bullshit with ESPN, man. That shit ain't cool. But ESPN basically doing, we need to boycott ESPN.
Hey, but why do y'all think?
But whose job is she taking the TNT?
Oh wait,
they're like winning Emmys and shit over there.
They just gonna
like
tell
Barkley
you
and those guys. So who is she replacing over there?
She gonna replace Candace Parker, according to them.
No, that's not gonna happen at all.
With Candace Parker, the only thing they got to worry about Candace Parker is bitching about women need to get paid more. TNT ain't giving a fuck about that. If anything, that makes TNT kind of look good because it makes them look woke. And they like, if that's the furthest she gonna go, we'll take it. But other than we'll deal with that. That's the only thing she really saying. It's like off the script.
But if like Barkley is making how much?
5.
Yeah.
Okay, so how you gonna pay her more than you paying Charles Barkley? That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen at all.
It's because of black girl magic.
Right.
Hold on. Exactly. All right, let's see what I'm curious.
Question I'm asking y'all: why do y'all think that some of these undercover brothers have?
And basically, when he talk about brothers, he mainly talking about anybody that's like having a dissenting opinion. He mainly talk about like NBA players as far as in this analyst thing, and he trying to throw it from a coon standpoint. But whatever.
Problem.
No, he's talking about you brothers that that don't fall in line.
Oh, he ain't talking. I tell look, man, I like Ticket TV, but I tell him straight up, I mean, look, Ticket TV, I'm a free thinker. I talk about this pro-black shit.
I think Ticket is moving
I don't speak
I think
Spanish.
Ticket is moving out of his depth in this area, so it'd be interesting to see how far he goes.
I respect what he gotta say, but I'd be like, nigga, I don't speak Spanish, so who knows? I ain't gonna say who you date, but and I like him in basketball. He's very good. He's very good. But this is where this stuff starts to intermix a little bit, and when people always challenge like are saying we got red pill dogma, because I actually just uploaded that interview that I did, and I'm like, yo, I don't think some of y'all, and Ticket TV is a smart guy, and look, when it comes to sports, when it comes to certain things, I'm not going to talk outside of my lane to a certain extent, and I have a lot of lanes, but I understand when, I'll contribute in a way to like me moving the conversation along, but And Ticket ain't never really said nothing about red pill, so this ain't about that. But for a lot of people that may listen to him and listen to us, they'll try to act like, well, we just dogmatic. I'm like, I don't think y'all really understand. And this isn't, I'm telling you right now, this ain't so much about Ticket. This is more about like a lot of people that come on his panels. I'm like, man, if they came over to what the fuck we do, man, please. And sometimes I overestimate like how intellectually strong a lot of our shit is, because I'm used to it. But yeah, anyway, let's go.
The money that they want. Why y'all think these dudes feel insecure about that shit? Because I thought it was, look, if my wife, if she getting paid more than me, nigga, why would I be jealous about that? Why wouldn't I be happy and support her? Because some of these niggas, they feel less of men if they got a wife that don't make, or that makes more than them.
Oh
Okay,
my God.
Edward, can you pause that?
Yeah.
Does he have a wife?
I don't think he does. I don't know though.
See, I think it's very interesting when brothers be postulating shit like that.
That's some shit.
You know,
Six Goddess said
it's one
though.
thing to say if my wife had more money, all this shit, I would be blah blah Skippy, all this shit. It's a whole other thing to have to actually live with a woman who
Ooh,
makes more money.
you don't want to do, you don't want to do that. I've done that before. It's not an easy thing to negotiate unless you're a practiced pookie, right?
And
Exactly.
and another thing,
You know, so it's one thing to kind of pull that kind of thing out your
Archer might be
ass
able to do it.
and say some brothers are jealous and all that kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
There's a whole other thing to have to actually live with that.
And what's funny is, and I don't mean to bring nobody else into it, but Six Goddess, she's made statements saying that if you're comfortable with the, and look, I'm gonna tell you, say what you want about Ticket. I'm not saying Ticket's a man. I'm not taking that away from him. But Six Goddess has said he ain't no nigga. There ain't nobody gonna throw the bitch ass nigga card at or the soft card at. But Six Goddess said a man is comfortable with a woman making more money than him is effeminate. That's what she said. And I'd be interested to hear what he got to say about that.
He's a feminine or he's a pimp.
Right. Right.
or he's either one of the four things. Either he's a homosexual, he's a pimp, he's a pookie, or he's effeminate. Okay.
Well, I hear that, but
there's one other guy, and he's a very small population.
What's that?
Of the guy who is going to use that woman to build off of it. But he has a very small window to make that happen.
He's pimping her. Okay.
Yeah. He has a very small window.
Like shout out to Jesse Williams.
Yeah, exactly. Jesse Williams.
Well,
exactly.
she got two babies. At end of the day, though, she can get mad, but she got two babies, light skin, more lighter than her.
Yeah,
definitely from a dude that looked better. She
got the best that she should have expected to get. She got the best.
Kanye West did the same thing.
And
so I ain't mad at him.
And he said Jesse Williams stayed for years dealing with that, and and think about it, because she was making some bank. She's a very good real estate person in New York. I'll give her that credit.
She had to be. She bought the best. You don't get no black mulatto movie star
to
with
be
blue
fair,
eyes.
if I understand, she bought him when he was like a substitute teacher or whatever.
He was a
like
teacher.
That.
Yeah, he was.
She made a good, insightful
investment. Yes, she did.
But you know what Jesse Williams did, right? Jesse Williams found him. He found him another. I don't mean to call Shonda Rhimes a trick, but he basically came up under Shonda Rhimes and said, all right, and Shonda Rhimes, because Shonda Rhimes the one who put him on. I mean, I'm not gonna take that.
We had the goods though.
He did, and that's why I understand Shonda Rhimes is a classic gynocrat, but that's actually an example. Shonda Rhimes, when you look at like Shonda Rhimes negotiating for more money with these big companies. She has recurring offers. Netflix has already had a recurring, like whenever you want to leave, we'll make it work. No,
Shonda Rhimes should be as rich as Oprah.
Or Tyler Perry at the very least.
I mean, when you look at her track record of success, I don't have. You can't make any argument against her. Money.
And I like Maria Taylor a lot more than Shonda Rhimes. But at the end of the day, when you look at track record,
she doesn't have a fraction. Maria does not have a fraction of the talent of Shonda Rhimes. Not a fraction of that.
So, and again, it's like, and basically, my problem with this whole thing is when you make a pro-black argument from a business perspective, you're not going to get the outcomes you want to get because you're just not. And so let's keep going.
And some of these dudes, they'll actually demean their wife just out of jealousy. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, God.
This is that guy.
He's blue pill.
See, that's why I was saying Edward earlier. He was on some gynocratic shit. That's why I said earlier he was on some gynocratic shit.
Well, I didn't want to be seen as like I'm running away from this. And he re-uploaded it. This was a premiere.
Go ahead and give your disclaimer, okay? Because we getting ready to say some stuff that doesn't reflect on your show, okay?
All right.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay, so I want to give a couple of disclaimers. Number one, Black Guru doesn't have a channel. He is a black man with nothing but daughters that is currently married. So say what you want. He would know more than anybody. And BGS got 2 daughters, and it ain't even sexually attracted to a white woman. So, and BGS got his own
black gynocratic bullshit when I hear it.
So,
and
these both of these niggas are north for 50. So this ain't, but I like to get, okay. So
you made it, huh?
So this is the older generation. So you charge this
in April.
You charge this to the old. And let me tell you something. I like Tiki.
Ain't a lot of us around.
For black men, we the last of the Mohicans.
This is not meant to criticize Ticket, but the points are going to be the points, and what it is what it is. This is what you said, and he re-uploaded it. Yeah, and I know he mad because
look, I don't know if he's simping, but he's a black basketball player where he's 6'7". He has lived a particular kind of life in the world.
I know a lot of ball players that are simps, man.
Right.
Yeah, and this is by the way,
the thing is, ball players can get away with simping in a way that most brothers cannot get away with.
Yeah, so this is to inform. Like, I get the world
until they're working at McDonald's. Yeah.
Until they meet the right one.
They simps because they got like 10 baby mamas and they paying all this child
support. And so I get the worldview, and also BGS, you got your son that played basketball.
Yeah.
So you definitely, and you coach, so you understand that.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm doing this video right here is not about criticizing Ticket TV.
No.
What's being said is just what's being said. I'm doing this because this is a good example of you come out of the red pill shit, and then you look at, okay, what's going on in the real world when it comes to things that black men pay attention to, like sports and all of this, in this kind of planetary alignment where certain things are intersecting. This is where like people like Jada Black has a certain mentality. Me, even shout out to Angry Man. Like, I didn't know if Angry Man was gonna go against Sha'Carri Richardson. He threw the Trump conservative hammer on that. Talk about that's some nigga shit, and y'all.
Because too many chicks just like her, man. They do the same shit. In fact, I knew a brother that he actually won the NCAA track and field, man, in like 2 events, and said he said near world record, man. I met the dude. He's just like him. He never went any further than USC. Okay. Never went further than USC. So I know tons of guys just like it because he couldn't stay off the weed.
And David Carroll
in April, there was this brother, Kamari Montgomery, got caught with the same thing. And this brother competed in the 2016 Olympics in Brazil. He got caught with the weed. He got suspended for a month or so. It probably ruined his chance to compete to qualify for the Tokyo Olympics, but he just took it. I got caught, and that's it. And there hasn't been any big outroar, any big racial thing or whatever. He came and went just like that.
They start teaching you from the time you get to middle school about drugs. If you play or compete at a higher level, they start teaching this stuff. Well, at 12 years old about what to do, what not to do. That's like she didn't. No big deal. She knew as soon as she took that test, she was gonna get busted. So she wasn't upset.
All right. So let's continue. Come on, man. I'm actually rooting for Ticket. Come on, man.
Ticket's simple.
Niggas had to treat niggas at their spot so they can so-called get more too, man. They like them type of niggas. Personally, like, man, whoever get out the way, that's more for me, though. That's gonna benefit me more. The niggas keep quitting. The niggas keep getting
black men do that with each other. They don't do that with women.
That's how I look at him because he basically showing you he gonna do anything for that man.
Yeah, but what y'all think, D-Reed? What you and Lou think?
Salute to y'all, man. I'm just tuning in, but like from what I'm hearing, man, it's sad. You know what I'm saying? Black people as a whole, I don't want to single everybody out, but black people as a whole, we've never been the people to look for a handout. You know what I'm saying? It's different. It's the difference between a handout and opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Us as black people, that's what we looking for. It's opportunity. You know what I'm saying? We hard working people, so to see a black
this dude don't understand equality versus equity. He don't know the difference.
Woman being treated how she being treated. You know what I'm saying? And to see her own people, you know what I'm saying, standing against her, that shit's sad, man. We learned this shit back in the 4th, 5th grade. That's how you want to be treated. That's simple. That shit can go a long way. You know what I'm saying? And just to see what the fuck is going on with a black analyst, you know what I'm saying, who done put in the work. You know what I'm saying? She may not have been Front Street, you know what I'm saying, her whole career, but she good at her job.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Does that bother y'all when a black woman make, like, I don't know if y'all got a girlfriend, married, got a wife. Does it bother you if your wife making more money than you?
It bothers her. It bothers her. It don't bother. Hey, when my old lady made more money than me, it never bothered me. It bothered her.
You know what I'm saying? My girl, she like a law insurance agent. You know what I'm saying? She deal with the healthcare and all that shit with the elderly people. She make bread. That shit ain't do shit but motivate me. I got 2 jobs now because of that shit. Trying to keep up with her. But it was never no hate in my heart, no saltiness, no, you know what I'm saying? That shit motivated me. You know,
let her let you know she making more money. That's he bullshitting.
We've been together since.
Man, please, that nigga didn't just get 2 jobs out of nowhere. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
she said something.
He ain't never had a woman that made more than he did. That's what's happening.
So it's like everything I see her do, that shit is that's a beautiful thing to see. Like I can't really put words to it, but just seeing a black woman going out there and getting it,
nigga, you can't put what the fuck.
She making more than you, man. That don't do shit. Motivate me to get on my shit. Make sure on my, you know what I'm saying, on my songs all the time.
Yeah.
Trying to match her, but it ain't never been no. Oh, you making more than me? Nah, I ain't fucking with you like that shit retarded. Especially if you in a relationship setting.
Has he ever been in that relationship?
He act like he in a relationship right now. Like these niggas be fronting, yo.
Nah, he's fronting. He ain't in that relationship because that chick could be. This is barking at him,
guys. This is what I call emotionally dope dealing. That's what this nigga's doing right now. It's when you say what you want to hear to release that serotonin in order to, because it feels good. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, make him feel like a man.
Because the reality of the situation is the time freedom it takes to work 2 jobs. So meaning she ain't never seen you, especially because if you got to work 2 jobs to match up what she do, then clearly she's on a higher octane scale as you. And then she gonna notice that because her girl's gonna let her fucking know that.
Yeah. You lose one of those jobs to see what happens to you.
And that's one of the main threats. The main threat ain't
but what's missing from this discussion is nobody asked Ticket, has he ever been in a relationship with a woman?
Well, they not going to. They not going
exactly.
To. Yeah.
So he can present this scenario and hold everybody else accountable to it but himself.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that scenario is kind of irrelevant because all these the people that you're accusing of that, like the NBA players that are inside ESPN, that don't matter.
Where did Ticket play at? He played in the NBA?
Well, no, but Ticket in New York. So this is just New York shit.
I think he played overseas, European.
Well, you know, as far as he knows basketball, but what he's talking about now, this like as far as this is that New York basket. This is that shit that Pretty Kelly thought she could pull on me and Roger when she was from the Bronx. This is the type of personality type that they deal with. You know, that's why they think they can pull that shit everywhere. Anyway.
Say like it's 50-50 in a relationship? No, it's 100-100. You get your all.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Ain't no 50-50. No, but if you got a female that's doing her own shit, you was an add-on at the end of the day. If you see a woman out here getting it on her own, and you step into her life, look at she don't need you because she been doing it. You was an add-on.
That's that New York shit.
Oh, hold on. Dude say he's an add-on.
Nigga, we in Mike Rashid territory.
Talking about cucked.
Like, come on, refrain from the word.
That's what his woman calls. That's what his woman calls him as an add-on.
But you got to realize that, like, when you're in this space, and a lot of people in this, like, this is what it is. This is how this is the normal shit. Like, I want people to understand that you niggas in this space, you are abnormal. This reminds you where red pill
outside of this
means.
Brothers are cucked, and whether it's sexually or economically or socially, brothers are cucked outside of this space.
And I'm not even gonna say all that, but I get that. I mean, it's a default.
Look, this guy said he's an add-on, which means he is secondary to whatever the hell that woman got going on. That is being cut.
But black men run the black community though.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Ask him. Do you run? Ask him. Are you the leader in your relationship? And this nigga would never admit that he said what he just said on right now. And this is another dude talking. Let's go. This is fun.
As a black man being in her life is to add to her life. Make sure she's secure. Make sure she's set. That all that who make more money, that shit don't mean shit at the end of the day. If we in this shit together. So
nigga, that sound like a straight concubine. Go ahead.
Black men.
That sound like them Pookie rules you talking about.
Black women or not, you know what I'm saying? Giving her the opportunity that she deserved. That shit fucked up.
The opportunity she deserved. Like ain't nobody like number one. That's it. First of all, this ain't Tavis Smiley saying, "Bitch, I'm not paying you." This ain't Tavis Smiley who controls his own show and controls the staff. This Stephen A. Smith ain't got nothing to do with that. Y'all are saying that black men that they ain't getting sex from, which you know at least Jimmy Butler can say that. Who knows what Steven Jackson and them? Well, hell, you want to keep it all the way 100? Rachel Nichols put Steven Jackson on. A big reason why he got his podcast is because she put him on to the show that they had. So there's gonna be a loyalty there. And I get the black thing. The black card is supposed to be the tiebreaker, but come on, man.
I'm with you, guys.
I don't want no broke ass woman nowhere.
Luke, what you got, Luke?
You feel me?
These niggas, it sound like platinum.
Luke, what you think, man?
We still got people out there who live in 1950 mindset.
They talk about your ass.
Woman,
They talk about y'all. Are y'all serious?
doing great in the doing great in reporting, doing great in everything, and the shit got to start.
Y'all aren't saying anything that you can't. Everything you saying about Maria Taylor, you can technically say about Rachel Nichols. Everything you saying about Maria Taylor, you can say about Hannah Storm. Everything you saying about Maria Taylor, you can say about Carrie Champion. Hell, you can say that about Jamel Hill. Real talk. You can say that about every last one of these mothers. Sarah Spain. You like, cause Sarah Spain. You want to talk about what other woman can cover all that shit? Sarah Spain can cover all that, including hockey. What are we talking? Like I'm sorry, y'all. I know y'all want to talk about the be on code. See, all of the gaps it's supposed to be filled with. Y'all niggas need to be on code.
Look. I heard Maria Taylor say that black women were stronger than everybody else. She said that. She said that out. She said that out of her mouth. So all this business about black people being on code is bullshit. Those black women are on a different code than the rest of you Negroes, and y'all better recognize.
Yeah, but that's beyond them. If I went on there and started saying some shit like that, I'd be calling coon. They start calling me Whitlock.
More money, you should be happy about that.
Hold on, let me rewind that shit. Make sure y'all heard that, because I know I'm clipping.
Doing great in reporting, doing great in everything, and the shit got to start to make more money. You should be happy about that. You should not have to listen. Don't be like, no, you can't make more money than me because you're just a woman.
Ain't no who the fuck is saying that. Ain't nobody in ESPN saying that as far as the dudes. And that hasn't been reported because, you know, they would have put that shit out there just for feminists talk about the wage gap. Jalen Rose spoke up for it, which y'all essentially talking about is motherfuckers taking, you talk about what, Steven Jackson? You talk about them taking up for Rachel Nichols. Niggas on ain't nobody making really a lot of, well, Jada Black done said that, but Jada Black is saying what she's worth. Jada Black is not saying that that she doesn't have a right to try to get more. Like what are you talking about?
No, it shouldn't be like that, G. It's like $3 million is like a slap in the face to Maria Taylor, because everything she does for that network is great. Because I remember her starting out on College Game Day.
The $3 million is a slap in the face. Only like a handful of motherfuckers get $3 million and up. What do you? Oh my god!
And the football games. I thought she was gonna take off the College Game Day the way she was gonna break down every single game they had on those Saturdays. Then I saw her jumping in all these other patrols, basically doing a better job than the guys on the table. But
y'all heard that, right?
No, I missed it.
She said she doing a better job breaking down the college games than the guys on the table. But let's go.
ESPN only offered $3 million. He deserves at least $20 or $25 million for what she does. She don't need it on the table. But
did you hear what he said? You did? Okay, I'm gonna play it at normal speed now, because I want you to hear what he said. I want you to hear what he about to say.
Damn shame ESPN only offered $3 million. he deserves at least $20 or $25 million.
What?
These niggas are all crazy. All right, I'm basically wasting my time. As Obsidian would say, this is casting pearls before swine at this point.
Yeah.
These niggas are like, nigga, like real talk. If y'all wanna go ahead, go to her Instagram and start, getting some lotion. I'm not get this, but this.
Yeah, I mean, when you hear shit like that, it makes me very pessimistic for, and I should be careful not to project too much from this kind of stuff. But when you hear stuff like that, my conclusion is we ain't gonna make it.
Well, I mean, the thing is, let's say you and me agree on something, like the way it works in our space. Let's say you and me agree on something, but like I kind of go like even one bridge too far. You still gonna try to roll that back a little bit by adding, look, I get it, but realignment. This nigga said 25 minutes, so I'm looking for motherfuckers to say, nah, like really, come on, man. But in their eyes, it ain't no limit. Now, if we were talking about a dude, I don't think they would be this like forthcoming.
Well, and you would have a conversation with them, and it would be this weird kind of conversation where, because ESPN is a white company or whatever, black people, the pro-black position would be to get as much out of them as possible.
Well,
so
I
like
agree.
you can
throw
out. I'm just saying, but you'll throw out like 20 million or 30 million or whatever, and so a rational mind might realize that as pro-black as you might be, that is not in the realm of reality.
Exactly.
So you're having a conversation with somebody, and at some point it's going to become contentious because you're operating on the realm of, well, like if Stephen A. Smith is getting 8 million, I mean, is it really reasonable to even argue for that? But you got these black folks, these pro-black folks, and if you say otherwise, then you're a sellout, a coon, all that stuff. So it's a weird kind of conversation that you're going to be involved with.
You know who would be great for this conversation? Jason Black. Because Jason Black ain't no fan of no fucking red pill, as he's made it very clear. But Jason Black is definitely loyal to the business side. He ain't no fan of ESPN. And he ain't no fan of Stephen A. Smith. But what he would say is he is not gonna he ain't gonna do this. He gonna say straight up, you go for the most you can go for, but you do not be fucking dumb. You don't be magical, because the magical is gonna fuck up your ability to get the money. Because now you in your feeling, and this is how, and the thing about this is important about the black community having a female zeitgeist. Because like at the end of the day, if you want the best for her, you actually want her to get the outcome. All of y'all are doing is y'all are basically saying, oh, you don't know what the NBC Sports deal is, to be honest. Because I can tell you right now, I can infer if that deal was so good, she wouldn't even be trying to negotiate with ESPN like that. She'd just leave. So it's same thing with Amazon. These deals, see, they waiting to see what happens with this. So at that point, once she leaves ESPN, that's it. She ain't going back. So if she don't have a deal, it's gonna be like these motherfuckers are probably thinking, not Katie Couric. What was that other chick? That chick that came from Fox News. You know, the other blonde one, and she went to like CBS.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
You that ain't about to happen in sports, because you got to look at within the realm of what they generally get. And it's like, y'all really think just because a nigga got it, she gonna get it. It ain't even about jealousy. Like, and I hate to bring this up, but you'll never hear niggas in porn complaining about the bitches get paid more. They know what the motherfuckers come to see. So no, men don't do that. Women, like you won't hear like LGBT or gay men that are in like female shit, models and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Saying no. They don't, at least from that standpoint, they understand the difference between equity and equality. And this is a classic example. Let's finish it. It's almost done.
She don't need ESPN. She can start her own shit. Because everybody knows how very important it really is. They should be knocking on the door, having a bidding war just to get her
But they're not though, dude. It don't matter what you think you are. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. I want to slow this down real quick because I don't want this to be forever. But Scarlett Johansson, this is a perfect example. Scarlett Johansson, the Black Widow movie is coming out. I actually saw it. You know, it was all right. I liked it for what it is, but I'm investing in the MCU. I actually like Florence Pugh's character a lot as well. Very likable character. Scarlett Johansson was getting $10 million an appearance. The only person who was getting more money than that was Robert Downey Jr. Okay. And so and nobody's out here, nobody even batted an eye about how much money Scarlett Johansson was getting. An appearance. She just now got her own movie going out the door. And chances are she's getting 10 million with this movie, even though this movie was not launched. Even that's why it took so long to launch, because it had to go in the movies. And the thing about it is, the reason why Scarlett Johansson was able to secure that kind of money was because she was the most marquee name at the time of the MCU being really initiated. Robert Downey Jr., she was probably the biggest star out of all of them as far as billing. Robert Downey Jr. was out in the cold, and really he was able to renegotiate based on what the Iron Man movies were doing. Scarlett Johansson didn't have to do that because she already had a lot of movies and a lot of stuff going on at that time. Even more so than more so than Thor with Chris Hemsworth and Chris Evans. And until this day, Scarlett Johansson is technically a bigger actress than all of them. Maybe except for Robert Downey Jr. To be honest with you, I would argue she's bigger than Robert Downey Jr. outside of the Marvel series.
Even though he's a vastly superior actor.
We're not even good. You know what? Yeah, I'll give you that. But at the end of the day, if you look at who draws more box office outside of Marvel, Scarlett Johansson actually can secure more of that. Scarlett, remember?
Well, but those Sherlock movies were wildly successful as well.
They were successful. They were successful on their own. They were Iron Man successful.
And I'm not sure, even though she has had more recent movies than Robert Downey Jr., I'm not sure if she is a superior actor.
I'm not. No. I'm not. Well, my point is, you got a lot more you can pull from that. I'm not saying that she was owed it. I'm saying I get why she got it. She got it at that. And even if you take, because here's the thing. Black Guru, I can give you all that, because guess what? Robert Downey Jr. gets paid more. So I'll give you all of that. She's only second to him. So outside of him, you can't say the same thing about Chris Hemsworth. You can't even say the same thing about Chris Evans. You can't say the same thing about none of them as far as draw. We can argue acting ability all day, but as far as draw, and so my point is, I get why she got that. Now, see, people don't mention Scarlett. Now, obviously, people talk about the sexist stuff, sorry, what they said about Black Widow, but at the end of the day, she was getting paid. She was getting paid per appearance. She wasn't getting paid to actually anchor an entire movie. So she was getting paid pretty much doing the same amount of work as all of them. In fact, they were doing more work than she was doing, but she was getting paid more. But at the end of the day, from the acting rules and what you understand, what she drew and stuff like that, I'm not saying Scarlett always wins. She doesn't, but she wins. She wins enough. Let's say that. So my point is that you can't, if you superimpose that on, like for instance, Maria Taylor, and then especially, I didn't even think about Taylor Rooks. I didn't even think about all that. You know, that's how they're looking. That's how business is done. Jason Black would understand, would say the same shit. And the thing is, Jason Black be like, I want you to get paid. I don't want you to be on some magical shit and then you don't get paid. Because once you go into a situation where you're out there, then as far as they're concerned, whatever they give you is what they give you. It's about what the market is. Carmelo went through the same thing. A lot of these players go through similar shit when they get that big contract, and they may not have aged out yet, but because they get hurt. Look at C Boogie. Look at all, like, it happens all the time with men. It is what it is. You know, you want to talk about what somebody's owed. Michael Jordan never got paid what he was owed. Scottie Pippen didn't get paid what he was owed. You know, because of how, you know, Reinsdale and them were in Chicago. Right. Like, you know, when you look at how much some of these players get paid now compared with Jordan, come on now. But see, so we got to take our feelings out of it. And this is the problem when it comes to women. Black men are way too fucking soft-hearted for their women. And this world don't give a fuck. Y'all may get that bullshit in the black community, and outside of it, they may give you that shit as a mechanism of keeping the black community where it is. But ultimately, in their world, that ain't how it is. It ain't. And the reality is, black men do pay black women. When we got control of the key strings, we break them off, even though they're not loyal to us. Anyway, I just want to make that example. Let's go.
Not only on sports, on news, on every single thing across the country.
The fuck is this nigga saying?
To me, Kerry Perkins, Richard Jefferson, y'all damn shame. Going up there with Rachel Nichols and backing up. I'm embarrassed that
that's not hating on Maria Taylor. That's backing up a woman that has the relationships and secured those relationships over time. She is calling favors in because she's under threat. That's what that is. That's all that is. And yeah, I don't like it, but that ain't stopping a black woman from getting paid. That's not the same thing. Y'all are making it seem like you can't say these niggas are jealous of her, and then these niggas are also taking somebody's side. They're not trying to stop a black woman from getting paid. Niggas to give a fuck. If dudes are misogynistic like that, they give a fuck about women making more. They ain't gonna be like, well, if they white, that's just white people. No, they don't think that way.
These other guys who support Rachel Nichols is out here talking right now, Tiggy. It's a damn shame about that. Like, what is it that Rachel Nichols did for y'all that Maria Taylor can't do? What is
Rachel Nichols put a lot of these dudes. Rachel Nichols is vastly responsible for some of these niggas even having jobs. Some of these niggas probably got picked because of Rachel Nichols, and Rachel Nichols putting in a good word. And let's be clear, Rachel Nichols did that so she could call in these favors. I am under no illusion Rachel Nichols is like some Game of Thrones shit. I am not saying she's altruistic. I am not saying she gives a fuck about black people. She gives a fuck about her position, and because it wasn't given to her, she understood that she would probably have to have things in place, and she probably never stopped putting things in place, just in case. And that, and keep it real, she still, like, technically, Maria Taylor is going to make more money than Rachel Nichols with all of that. What are you talking about? ESPN still she technically won. You were black. This is where BGS always talks about black people wanting something, a headline, rather than wanting the policy.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought. What is it Rachel Nichols did?
Man, these niggas can't even talk. God damn.
For y'all to make y'all come out here and support her. Like, really?
Carcino already explained all that, which is the hires, getting them hired, getting them put on. She put a lot of these people on. She's like, that's what she did.
After hearing that video, you should not want to be supporting Rachel Nichols anymore. People want to try to tell ESPN to fire her on the spot.
So a bunch of niggas that work for ESPN that are black are gonna tell them to fire a white one. You niggas stupid.
We gotta go through this now.
We going through this.
Our people have fought years and years to get it right position, and you still got people out here who don't support our brothers and sisters either. Like, how you supposed to come together when you still got these Uncle Toms out here acting the way they are?
Nobody ever said they were Rhodes Scholars, though.
I mean, for real. I mean, these motherfuckers. Shout out to Deshaun Watson for the other $5. He said she gave Matt, Becky with the good hair, Barnes a job. Yeah, and a lot of them were able to parlay that into the podcast and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yo, like, I'm sorry. Like, I get it and I don't like it either, but I understand. This is not something, I'm going to keep it real. This is not something I'll bring these niggas to court over. I wouldn't bring these niggas to nigga court over this. You know, they're not going out of their way to block her.
Rachel Nichols was like doing interviews and shit like with the Bulls back in the 90s when she was still at Northwestern University. I mean, she has a lot of infrastructure in that business.
Yeah.
Like it or not. Now, was it because she was some little Jewish chick who went to Northwestern? She probably would not have otherwise been able to get, close to Michael Jordan or Scottie Pippen in the mid 90s had she not had a certain particular kind of background. That's probably
and you know
likely the case.
Them Jewish women don't play.
But you can't argue that she has not built an infrastructure in that particular business, in that particular environment. She has.
What this is an example of black men basically whining for black women, and this is what y'all think is protection. This is not protection. Mm-hmm. This really isn't. Like, if you want to really do, like,
I mean, here's the thing. Here's the question I have about the general trajectory of the sports media business in general. Because from what I've observed, unless you were at some point an all-star level or an all NBA or a Hall of Fame level player in basketball or football, you're probably not going to get a media gig as a man, as a black man.
No, unless you know.
So miss me with whatever opportunity that Maria's not getting or any of these other chicks are getting. I mean, there have been a lot of black men who have been fired or reduced in terms of their position and standing at ESPN and sports media as a whole. I mean, you had your Stuart Scotts, you mentioned earlier Michael Wilburn, obviously Stephen A. Smith, but I don't know if I see many younger black men who are ascending in sports media who were not themselves at some point great and well-known professional athletes. Yeah. So I can't really get too fired up about some black women, whether it's Maria or the little light-skinned girl, or I like Taylor. I'm very turned on by Taylor, but I mean, a lot of Taylor Rooks, but a lot of these women are getting opportunities that their male counterparts are not getting.
Yeah, and the thing is, and this is the thing they gotta understand is, you know, y'all are perceiving this as jealousy, but black men, like, a big reason why the shit is fucked up is because black men only see themselves as doing something, which is doing it for black women. Like, anyway, let me finish this up. This should be fucking done.
He was upset with her. He ain't hold her accountable. And he should know firsthand, being a journalist, how hard it is for people of our color, and especially for a woman that's our color. Yeah, I'm just saying, he should have got on their ass too. So for him not to stand up to shit, he gotta get called out on Matt Barnes, your bitch ass too. And this shit gotta stop. And Stephen A. Smith, they gonna call you on your bluff, cause I know you be listening to this shit.
Stephen A. Smith don't give a fuck about what you niggas saying. Yeah, Stephen A. Smith was making, look, man, Stephen A. Smith gets on my nerves sometimes with some shit he do, but at the end of the day, he was listening to all you motherfuckers while he wasn't getting paid. And at the end of the day, the ESPN rewarded him. So he think everything he did was vindicating. You know how niggas are when they vindicated. They 10 times put their toes down on that shit. They be like, nigga, I'm getting paid. You can kiss my ass.
So you take shit from it, from ticket and everything. Take shit from people that be on the pedal and that Stephen A. Smith. Your ass gotta say something, boy. I'm telling you.
Man, these niggas smoking weed. Come on.
That nigga don't want to point the finger at your bitch ass more than one of them, because you always say you want to stand up for the. He the first one to say something about some bullshit that don't matter. You know what I'm saying? He the first.
I mean, y'all. This has been an exercise in blaming black men because of what ESPN ain't doing. Y'all really think that black men have the power to make ESPN pay this bitch? Is that what you think? Y'all are dumb.
You be the first motherfucking whatever you want to call. I don't know if you want to call this nigga a sports writer, an analyst, whatever the fuck.
You don't know, because you don't know what the fuck you talking about.
He does. He be the first one to speak on some bullshit that's irrelevant. You know?
Stephen A. is a nigga on TV, and as far as you can see, they could put another nigga on there, because you don't even really understand the background with a lot of this shit.
I'm saying, just to make a headline.
So they're all gonna get fired for her.
I mean, this is that New York shit.
Yeah, just the same way I'm looking at Brian. Like, bro, why you ain't saying shit about none yet? I'm looking at him the same way. Like,
because Brian don't give a fuck about one random chick.
No, he don't. that they didn't fire her. She couldn't come to an arrangement because she wanted more money.
Yeah.
White chicks do the same shit, man. You don't see Rachel Nichols asking for $5 million.
So, they got rid of Michelle Beadle, and you ain't heard from her since.
Yeah, all
and
that
she's
work.
A blonde white woman. They got rid of her. You ain't heard from her since.
All that work, man.
They got who? This blonde chick that was on with Colin Coward, the pretty blonde chick. I forget her name. That had the dust up with
Oh yeah.
With what's it with
Carl?
Ball. You ain't heard from that chick since.
Nope.
They get rid of white women all the time.
Yeah.
Or they reduce their money. Hannah Storm was big. Hannah Storm don't even make like 100,000 at this point.
They don't want you in men's sports, no way, because only money's in men's sports. There's no women's sports that you can do.
Yeah,
right.
But they don't think about that.
It would be interesting to have this discussion in a broad cross section of black men, because I mean. Look, I'm not hating on Maria for whatever she's getting, but I'm like, why does she deserve her position, and that money more so than any other black guy? Why?
Man, David Carroll said, because he said he was actually for Sha'Carri, but he said she fucked up at the end of the day, so she got it. It's gonna sting, but I want her to run too, but it's gonna sting. She fucked up. She knows she fucked up. Basically that position. But she said the sad thing is, because she got disqualified or whatever happened, is as if she didn't run the race, which means whoever came second is down first, whoever is third is down second, fourth is down third. All of those are black women. And then he started laughing. He said, but you niggas are acting like, this is a racial thing. He said, and then he brought up the other chick that's like really pro-black, the activist they tried to get with the anthem, talking about she's a single mother. She said she's an activist first and athlete second. She's the one that's pushing the propaganda. A lot of you motherfuckers ain't even paying attention to her because y'all so butt hurt over this other kid. She said Sha'Carri's young. It'll sting, but she'll be all right. And then he thought she would have got gold if she would have ran. But
I mean, the only reason to be upset about Sha'Carri is she might have had a chance to beat those Jamaican women.
Yeah,
that's the only. And as a fan of track and field and particularly of the sprints, I am hurt that she's not competing. But I can't make any argument at all for why she should compete.
And people are sitting there talking, and then you got and I'm sorry, look, man, I don't smoke weed. I don't got anything against y'all to smoke weed. I think it should be legal for tax purposes. But y'all will be the same niggas that y'all will go in a state where weed is not legal, and y'all will smoke it, and then y'all will cry racism as far as why you got arrested, because y'all want to be defiant. The reality of the situation is she knew what those rules are. And I mean, niggas like on Roger shit, these motherfuckers, man, one dude, Rogers, I think you was on there, Huru, because I came back on there. And Rogers asked that one dude that question, you niggas don't fucking understand. And he ran away when Roger asked him the direct question about why should she be given a pass. You all don't understand. I'm like, nigga, shut the fuck up. This is how
emotional like they're women.
And this is how a lot of dudes.
Some of you brothers will jump off the cliff for these women, man.
And y'all think y'all doing something. And then they're gonna talk shit about you in your grave.
Yeah, they will. They sure will. They'll let you jump right off and then make money off your hashtag.
Anyway, let's finish this up.
Shit, wearing that tight ass HBCU jacket and shit, like, you know what I'm saying? So
that's thirsty.
Yeah, cause I see on Instagram with the videos and shit. Like, go ahead and speak your piece, my nigga.
What do you mean, speak your piece? What the fuck are you all talking about at this point?
But it seems like Stephen A.
These niggas, they want these niggas to march just so she can get some imaginary number. You heard with the BGS, I don't know if you were gone. One of these niggas said, man, she should get 25 million.
Yeah.
I'm like, like you niggas, but you niggas ain't afraid of money. You niggas don't y'all. This ain't Monopoly.
Yeah, because they don't make it. Okay.
Yeah, man. She get 25 million. I ain't got no problem with that, man.
Yeah.
I'm cool with a woman making more money than me. I'm secure in my manhood. They say that.
Yeah, unless you paying it.
I mean, I doubt all the on-air personality combined get $25 million.
Man, they said the entire WNBA salary for every last one of them motherfuckers is $10 million.
No, it's higher than that. It's about,
that's what they said. They said it's 10. It's like a 10.8 million for all of them.
No, yeah, that don't surprise me. I'm surprised it's that high.
That's what it said in Google. They said he's like, I ain't found no bitch contract that make over 300,000 a year.
Because wasn't Kyrie Irving basically floating the whole league at some point?
WNBA player, like here's the thing: highest WNBA salary. I'm curious, like, what's the highest? They said they gave
probably your highest is probably about
$1 million.
They said this season DeWanna Bonner will earn $221,000.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying. I'm looking at this. I'm looking like Google wouldn't be just showing crazy. Like they said, yeah,
they don't make that much money. They don't pay. They don't generate that much revenue.
And you know they're getting taxed like a motherfucker, because this is right in that sweet spot for Uncle Sam to fuck you up. I see why Brittany. Hold on. Oh, I got one for your ass. I'm curious before we end this video. What Brittany Griner salary? Because she was paying child support. He's saying Brittany Griner make they talk supermaxes of $221,450.
Right.
The base max salary is $190,000. And she paying child support, and she getting taxed. Man, these motherfuckers, nigga, these motherfuckers might as well date 92 dudes. Like shit. Anyway, let me finish this. This video's almost done. That shit is funny as hell. Shout out to Mace Taggart.
Race, and when they do something controversial and wrong, you don't be hard on them like you be on us. Let that would have been like the goddamn James Harden did what Caruso did. I would have been cooking the shit out of James Harden.
Yeah, these niggas these niggas ain't saying nothing. Like this. No. This is what the streets are saying. So with that being said, we're gonna end this with Stephen A. Smith.
You come on now, and then you come on TV, you come on national TV. Oh, Stephen A., you gotta look out. Look out for what? Weed? Weed, really? You can't smoke weed, period. Weed. Stay off the weed. Who are you, Snoop Dogg in a green room? I mean, what the hell is going on? You want to sit there and stay on the weed, and you can't stay off the weed. It's stay off the weed. Millions of dollars, and you can't stay off the weed. Get off the weed because you want to smoke some weed. You couldn't stay off the weed. He ain't getting busted for using weed. All three of y'all say, oh, it's mine. The weed was mine. Weed. I want to hear that. You can't get off the weed because you want to smoke some weed. And whether it's the weed or alcohol, you can't chill when millions are who sit there and try to come to these dudes' defense, acting like, oh, well, you know what? It ain't nothing wrong with it or whatever. Everything eviscerated, thrown away, confiscated, taken from you because you can't stay off the weed. Stay off the damn weed. And they don't listen. Stupid. Whether it's the weed. If you can't stay off the weed. And he could smell the weed. For some weed? Really? Man, go to break, y'all. I mean, what we gonna do? We gonna encourage kids to do it now? All of these guys smoking weed that got busted for it, that got caught with it, all this stuff. All of them. Practically all of them. Black. Talking about, well, what's the big deal with weed, alcohol, whatever the case may be. In the case of weed, it's legal in 2 states for medicinal purposes. You can use it in 23 to 26 states. It's illegal in the NFL. You jeopardize all of that for some weed? and you're getting high in the middle of the afternoon off some weed, who sit up there and text and tweet and all, yo, man, what's the problem? What's wrong with smoking a little? It's illegal. So are you sitting up there with the ESPN microphone talking about all that shit and nonsense and people talking about I'm changing things? Stay off the weed. Some stuff about how he used it last in December. Oh, stop it. Just stop. Nobody's trying to hear that. Wanting to get high. That's what they're not talking about. This is going to alleviate some pain. You know what I mean? This is really going to be to benefit me. And, you know, because I don't feel like going to the doctor and get some other medicine and all that because I'm in such pain. That's why I want to smoke some weed. They're talking about weed for recreational purposes. What's next? What's next? I don't know. Codeine, weed, alcohol. What's next? What's next?
That's just funny as hell. Anyway, you know, them niggas like, man, fuck that lame ass nigga. Shit. Anyway, y'all got any final thoughts?
Stay off the weed.
Don't let it be a Manosphere sports section, man. That's it. We start some new fights, some new frontiers.
Oh, yeah, we do. I can throw elbows with the best stuff.
Like Red Pill Sports.
I think what stands out to me is how sort of red pill issues, so to speak, or manosphere issues are expanding outside of the ecosystem, the intellectual ecosystem of the Black manosphere, and how certain personalities who apparently previously were not necessarily involved with the rhetoric associated with the manosphere there's beginning to be some sort of overlap, and it'll be interesting to see how non-manosphere people how they equip themselves when confronted with their very gynocentric perspectives. Because I think we were listening to the brothers that you were featuring on the ticket video. I think a lot of brothers are due for some hurt feelings, and I look forward to witnessing that. And I'll end it with that. And I especially look forward to BGS getting a hold of it.
Yes.
I laugh at him because I said, unless you've held that job and been inside on one of these jobs and held them, you can't even talk about what you would do, because anybody can say that they would ride or die for a chick and speak up whatnot until their $3 million job is on the line.
Man, I've been in corporate America. That is not how the fuck that shit work. It ain't. Y'all want a statement. Y'all want motherfucker. And the reality of the situation is, shout out to that link in there is BGS's Village Wife video, so check that out after this video. But
one thing I'll end with, and I'll say this, and this is relevant to what we talk about here. Maria's own response to all this ended with her saying that Black women are the strongest people of all. To me, that is a very salient point for the manosphere. So you got all these guys, all the Sabums, all the, ready to, defend the wall and all this. And in the end, they are on their gynocratic shit.
Yeah, I mean, say what you want. We've had arguments about Jessica X getting mad money out of this space. So this idea, so at the end of the day, if you perform, you perform. And that's the argument that a lot of people have made defending Jessica X, despite dudes having valid points as far as why you're concerned. So this idea of if a woman can perform and a woman can draw the eyeball, even if they look like, let's say Taylor Roots creates her own shit and she blows up, because I saw her. I could see that happening, especially if she know how to put even two words together when it comes to sports. Motherfuckers generally are not gonna be like, oh man, that's bullshit. She only up there because they gonna be like, as long as she don't say shit about Black men on some negative shit, they gonna be good. Dudes ain't even gonna think about that. So the truth is, here's the thing that I would say to Ticket directly. Ticket, black men are black men are actually the last men out of all black men to actually do what you accuse them of. They are the last men to pull the patriarchy rank because black men have not been socialized to have a problem with that, especially if a female. And even when you look at non-black men, like if you look at things like how women are presented, if a woman is seen even presented from a fictional standpoint that she's had to pay her dues and she suffered in a way a man has, generally men don't have a problem with that. That was where that why Ripley has been popular, why character in Terminator was popular or given a pass, because it was seen as she's suffered, you know, and men kind of have a respect for that. But you broke it down, BGS, when you said that what Maria's talking about is equity, because if you they never said on that video, the only thing they said tangibly on that video is to why she deserved the money she should give is because they're saying she could cover more sports. And
she's a sideline reporter. And Stephen A has covered all sports too, the same way she has.
Yep, and the truth is, Sarah Spain can actually cover more sports than she can. And also, there's a difference between calling sports and being a sideline reporter. So if you're talking about like what's her name on TNT, that white chick, not Rachel.
I think you all are missing the point. People will watch ESPN.
Regardless,
because of Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah,
people are not going to watch ESPN, especially or specifically because of Maria Taylor, and that's the bottom line difference.
Yeah,
can you bring people? You bring an audience to the table? Maria's not bringing people to ESPN.
Yeah, she's not.
Yeah, and if she was, and the thing about it is, it would be a bidding war, especially in these app stages. And this is not me hating on her. She's 34 years old. If she got access to $5 million, like I said, she should have took it. $3 million. She's already on a faster trajectory than anybody.
They didn't offer no $5 million. They offered her $3 million. If she's making $1 million, they're not gonna bump it all the way up to $5 million.
Well, what that means is absolutely okay. Well, what that means is ESPN has never budged. The only thing they probably budged on is maybe terms in the back end. You know, maybe in the back end of the show.
They offered her $1.5 million, just like Rachel Nichols, which is why Rachel Nichols got pissed off. And when this thing come out, okay, we'll go up to $3 million.
And I'll give you another example too. This is where Charles would have been good to come up. But when you look at the Superman, Henry Cavill's character, you know that he's been in a dragged out debate, like a fight with money, and it ended up with Warner Brothers saying fuck it. And I thought he was a good Superman, but he was pretty contentious because how he was portrayed. They didn't like that. A lot of people didn't like that version, so he didn't play ball. Like even in that Shazam movie, he could have did a cameo as a gesture. He decided not to, as a hardball. Now his wife does his negotiations. He's got the same the woman that does the negotiations, I think the same woman that used to be with The Rock or some shit. So that's a woman that's really driving a lot of that. And then they say behind the scenes, Henry Cavill's not the best to work with. He's great in his fans, but as far as like, he's probably great with other actor. Well, no, they say it's kind of like up in the air, you know, but with like corporate, he doesn't do well with corporate. And you see how they're treating him. So at the end of the day, and now you compare that to like Robert Downey Jr. The difference is Robert understood that them Iron Man movies, it wasn't working, and they were not as confident in the MCU as they are now, which is why they renegotiated. Robert Downey Jr. gave them all that money. They knew they could get the money back. And see now what they did with that cartoon they're coming out with. They replaced his voice. They didn't bring him back. This is actually the last time you'll hear Chadwick Boseman actually play the role of T'Challa is in this cartoon called What If. This anthology that Marvel's releasing on Disney Plus. So it's business. And the problem is you can't bring the pro-black shit in the business. This is what economic pro-blacks understand. I'm not saying you got to be a coon or anything, and I'm not understanding you can't have certain ideals, but you can't get magical like that. And this is where the pro-black community being like having the zeitgeist of a black female fucked you up. Because like I said, you know, if $3 million is all they've offered her, then her waiting this long, because they already gave her the NBA Finals, which is another reason why Rachel Nichols got mad. You know, so you know, we'll see. Like we'll see what she ultimately gets. But I swear, if she gets less money, oh man, you know I'm doing the video.
I think they pulled the contract personally.
Yeah, ESPN don't really give a fuck. They like you act like Negroes ain't been mad at ESPN, but I mean with this Colin Kaepernick situation, they like that's like the most angriest Negroes has gotten recently. They don't give a fuck. ESPN been there. But anyway, so like I said, click on that link for BGS's video. I mean, y'all know what y'all got going. I mean, Kevin Samuels telling a bitch she averaged at best as usual. You know, it's a lot of streams going on right now, to be honest with you. Artie Igmore is up. Yeah, definitely. Let me hook up Artie Igmore. I'm probably gonna check that Village Gynocracy shit. Yeah, man. These oh, you should have heard that last stream that play-by-play I played, man.
I heard it.
Yeah. like what did
you actually, why don't you let it play, Edward? Stop getting triggered.
Yeah, I was, and that's one thing about but they seem to like it in my play-by-plays, like when I cut it off, but especially when I be saying shit and then the shit happens like a little bit later, because I don't even be knowing that, but I was getting triggered. But real talk, that is what that chick was raging. Like
of course she was raging. That's not unusual. She's a baby mama. Of course she's gonna rage.
And then go ahead.
Because they simps, man.
And they didn't say nothing. They sitting there and then when he said something, they're like lemonade. I'm like, this dude is conducting himself very well. This is an onslaught.
He's a simp. He didn't tell her to calm down. He didn't tell her to be quiet and let people talk. None of that stuff. He's a simp.
Man, and then she said, man, if you're a single mother, you're automatically accountable. Man, you don't get points for not aborting a motherfucker. Like, at the end of the day, that was your choice. Like,
he was simping.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like,
but the views of Edward's guests are not indicative of the channel. Okay, so don't come after him. You know, I have a whole channel. If you mad at me calling you a simp, hey, BGS Idmore, just look me up.
Wow, he ain't crossed that bridge.
Nah, he don't even know who we are, so it's all right.
Yeah, but you're on the path to the dark side, man.
Stop your simping. That's all I got to say to Ticket TV.
Yeah, but anyway, man, it's been great. And with that being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.
All right, peace.
Mm-hmm.